In today's video, I will show you 5 different tools that you can integrate with n8n to turn your workflows from basic to advanced to even mind-blowing and save a bunch of time while building automations, systems for your clients or for yourself. And how do I know this? Well, because I already have built hundreds of different systems, AI automations, and workflows for my clients, and I charge them thousands of dollars for these systems. So I do know that these tools, first of all, help you to make more money, build more advanced systems, and also can save you a lot of time. So instead of using basic n8n nodes and trying to work with them, I will show these tools, how you can easily implement them, and trust me, most of them are going to be super easy. There's just going to be one that might be a bit challenging, but we're going to walk through everything. And in the description down below, there's going to be a link where you can download all of these workflows already set up. So without any issue, you can set it up and start running your systems. So without further ado, let's jump into my computer screen. And the first tool that I want to share is the Convert API. So actually, before we go through all of these tools, I'm going to share a use case that I had with this tool, how useful it can be, and where you can use it as well. So first things first, what is Convert API? Well, it is an API that allows you to convert any file to any format you want. So from JPEG to PNG, from video to GIF, and so on and so forth. But the great thing about this is when you need to work with social media automations, posts, blog posts, whatever, where you have a lot of files, because at scale, this can change any file you want and their type. So for example, if you go into the documentation, I actually have an example where we're going to turn the web page to a PDF. But how is this useful? Well, for example, imagine you're having an e-commerce client that wants to track the changes on a competitor's website or on multiple competitors' website. With Convert API, and in this case, web to PDF API, what you can do is take a web page, turn it into a PDF, and basically then spin those PDFs through OpenAI or any other AI API and let AI identify what changes the competitors made on their e-commerce sites and how they're different from previous days' website PDFs. So this can be used to monitor competitors. So let's see in action how it actually works. For example, right now I have a Convert API. I'm going to show like everything step by step, how you can set it up yourself. But then there's, for example, the URL of a particular e-commerce site, and we have a store file true. So that means we want to fetch that file, and I'm just going to run it, and you're going to see how we actually gonna get that file into a PDF. So right now the API is running, is trying to fetch all of the images from the site, turn that into a PDF. Here we go, we got it. Then I'm gonna click on view, and I can see the whole e-commerce page, everything that was on it. And you can imagine how useful for some businesses this information is going to be if they can track all of these changes, if they can store these PDFs, then supply these PDFs to AI and let AI analyze what changes were made, because then you can copy your competitors and keep on top of the things that they do to basically make the most amount of money you can in an e-commerce business. So that's, an idea for you when you're building systems, or if you want to automate your e-commerce competitor tracking. But how do we set up? So for this, actually, you will need to go to convertapi.com. They have their dashboard. I already signed up. Actually, they also have a free trial. So you set it up, you can test it for free, you can use it for free, build, portfolio for free. And when it comes to running it for clients, you can start, a subscription and tell them to pay it. But now when you will come to the dashboard, all you have to do is go into API tools, and you will find a variety of different tools over here. What you need to do is find the one that you actually need to convert your required file type. In this case, in the search bar, I'm going to type in web, and we have web to PDF API. And this is going to show everything we actually need to set it up and start running or start converting websites into PDFs. And in this case, it's actually even simpler because on the right side, you have curl option. So just select that one, copy everything like so, go back to your n8n, and let's say I'm setting up everything from scratch. So what I would do, I would just click on this. So actually Convert API has their own default node, which is very convenient over here. So we just double click on it, import curl, paste the curl, import it, and we have everything. Or that didn't look like it worked, but to make it look like it works, let's just do it on a fresh one. So we just copy, paste it, import, and as you can see, every value is getting pre-filled, and all you have to do next is when it runs, just set up an HTTP node next that fetches the URL of a PDF, and you can download it, save it to Google Drive, save it to Airtable, and basically use it for any automation you want. So that's the Convert API, first tool that I would definitely keep in mind of when building automations for clients or for yourself. Now let's move to the second tool that again has been a game changer for me. So this is actually Mistral AI OCR. And you will probably notice a pattern that most of these tools are not the most exciting tools. However, the key thing is that they are useful. They're not just any random AI agents, but they actually have a very good use case. And by using them, you can build real systems that take advantage of those tools, and clients are ready to pay money for those systems. So what Mistral AI OCR is, it basically allows you to extract any data from any PDF. I think it also works with images, but so far I only worked with PDFs. And of course, in n8n, you have a default node, I think, yeah, extract from file. But let me tell you, the accuracy on this one is so much better. And yeah, you just don't want to, be cheap when building systems for your clients. But what good thing about Mistral AI OCR is that I have been running probably more than 1,000 PDFs with one of their models, and I still haven't paid a single cent for the AI API. So definitely give Mistral AI OCR a shot. But so as you can see, it has super high accuracy in 99.9 cases. It will always get the right data. I used it for finance automations, for handling invoices, extracting data from product orders, shipping statements, and so forth, and so on and so forth, whatever. But let's see in action how it works. So right now I actually have a Google Drive where I have this PDF with, let's say, line items of invoice with the line items, and there are certain line items that has value, certain that don't, and there we have a total amount with VAT and so on. So what is it gonna do? I'm gonna run it from start to finish. And what this is gonna do, so first of all, it gets a trigger from Google Drive. So whenever a file is uploaded, then it actually makes the file accessible for the Mistral OCR. So if you're going to use the same approach, keep in mind that the method is going to be post. Then the URL is googleapis.com/drive/v3/file/JSON ID. This is the ID of a file from a Google Drive folder, and then /permissions. And in a JSON down below, all you add is a role reader. Type anyone. That means anyone now can access this file. And then finally, it then passes on to Mistral, where Mistral right now is analyzing the data, trying to understand what it needs to extract. And to do that, you have to set up very simple HTTP request, and you also have to just write a simple prompt. So I'm going to show you everything step by step, how you can set this up from scratch, but let it run. Actually, I have a hair on my face stuck for some reason. So Mistral right now scanned all of the data, and we can click on it to see what it actually extracted and how it is set up. But again, I'm going to show you step by step how to set it up. But basically, in the JSON, what I did, I defined a prompt. What the prompt said is extract all of the line item total amounts where amount is more than 0 from the first page and the total amount. Provide output in structured JSON format. In the output, don't provide any explanations, just the JSON. And then as you can see here, we're just providing the document URL from the Google Drive. And that way we're sending that document, and now we can actually look at the output. So for example, I'm going to click on the table, and you can see on the line items, it extracted every line that has an amount more than, for example, 0. But in this case, it actually didn't include the names of the line item. So for example, what I could do is, and let's say and extract line item names. So for example, we can run it again. This time we probably want to have the line item name, not just the amount, because now it's pretty hard to tell, which exactly means what. But now, for example, we can go in here and can see, for example, basic fee VM view, total amount 130. We can go back, look it up. Yeah, basic fee VM view 130 euros. Can go back. Let's see, transaction fee T1 8 euros 12 cents. We have it here, 8 euros 12 cents. Then we have, let's say, transaction fee T3 243 euros, and the same thing. And then it just extracted the total amount, as you can see over here. So pretty much you just have to prompt that Mistral OCR and it's going to extract exactly the data that you need, which is super useful when you're working with a lot of PDFs. And that business, has a lot of PDFs, and its revenue depends on data being accurately extracted from those PDFs. And I had such cases. So how do you set it up? Well, first of all, you will need to go to Mistral OCR or Mistral.ai. In this case, it's just a news article, but whatever. If you, for example, go to Mistral.ai, there's going to be a try API at the top. Click over here, go to the docs on the right side, and then there's going to be document AI. Click on that, and there's going to be document Q&A. So actually there are a few OCRs. There's, for example, OCR that extracts everything in Markdown. And it uses the Mistral OCR, the latest, and there's document Q&A where you can prompt AI to extract only specific data. So I like to use this one because I like to prompt it, plus I have been using it completely for free. And the good thing is that it has a curl option. So all in this case I need to do is copy the curl, go back to n8n. Let's say I'm setting this up from scratch, so I'm just gonna drag it here, type in HTTP request, then I'm gonna import curl, I'm gonna paste it, I'm gonna press import, and I have everything already pre-configured. I have the post method, I have the URL, I have also where I would need to add my API key. To get the API key, again, go into, for example, La Platforme, I think. Let me just locate it. Yeah, go to La Platforme, and then there's going to be API keys. Gather your API key and you're good to go. And then down below is going to add the JSON for you. So all you have to do is replace the prompt in the text field, and you have to replace the document URL, and you're good to go. You're good to analyze PDFs and basically start selling automations that extract data from PDFs, or start automating your business. And again, for example, I've sold an automation with Mistral OCR for extracting the data from PDFs for $3,000. So you can be sure that businesses need these types of automations, and it's very helpful and very useful instead of a human sitting in front of a PC and extracting that data. Plus, it's way more powerful than your regular extract data node in n8n. Now, the next tool we're going to move to is compare datasets. And again, I said that these tools are going to be boring, but they're going to be super effective. So why is this boring? Because whenever you have, for example, two different Google Sheets, you have two different Airtable tables or different databases from Supabase, and you need to figure out where are the duplicated values, where are the unique values, which values are unique from, let's say, path A, which values are unique from path B. You have to actually use a lot of if statements, loops, merge nodes, and I have been using that. And actually only not so long ago I realized that there is a default tool in n8n for compare datasets. It allows you to basically find unique values from one dataset in another, and basically that can make your build a lot more sturdy, a lot more reliable, and plus save a bunch of time. So how does this work? Well, in this case, I'm gonna have two lists. I'm gonna have a Google Sheet with a list one where I have email, name, last name, country, city, favorite pet. And then we have list 2 where we have email, name, last name, country, city, favorite pet. What, for example, in this case, I might need is find all of the unique values in a list 1 or find all of the unique values in list 2. But before I knew that this node existed, I would add a bunch of merge nodes, if statements, loops to figure that out. Right now, all you have to do is go here, type in compare datasets, enable it, put it here. And all you have to do to set it up is basically type in the field name from input A and type in a field name from input B on which you want to check for duplicates or for unique values. And also in here, for example, I include both versions. So let's check what it's going to output. Now it's going to run the list 1 and then I was going to run the list 2. And we have 4 different routes of output. So let's check it out. Now we got in a only branch. So we got all of the unique values for the list 1. Then we got a value from both of the lists that are on the same row, meaning that Alice is both in list 1 and list 2 and also is on the same row. Then we have another option that we have, for example, Daniel, Emma, and Grace in both of the lists, just they are on different rows. And then finally, we have in B branch only, if I scroll here, and this shows only unique values in the B branch. So you can see right away how easy it is to set up. And believe me, you're gonna need it, because the moment I found out a bit about this node, I have been using constantly and it has been so useful. And I definitely urge you to check it out. Plus, it's already a default node, so you don't have to do any setup. Now let's move to the tool number 4, and this is probably the most impressive one out of these ones, and it's also gonna be a bit more complicated to set up, but not too complicated. Again, for every HTTP request, there is a curl that you just can copy, paste, and it runs. But what is this? Well, this is a browser use AI agent. Basically, all you have to do is type in a prompt for AI, and it can go into any website on the web and complete actions on that website. So for example, maybe there you need to log into a website and fill out a form. It can do that. Maybe you need to log in onto LinkedIn and fill out a bunch of job applications. It can do that. It's literally crazy, and I have separate video going on talking about this AI agent, where I, for example, went to kiwi.com, which is a website for flights, and in that video what it did, I instructed it to go onto that website, select particular dates, find the cheapest flight during those days, and return the flight price for those days. And it did that with a simple prompt. So it's really is powerful. And I also built a system for a client where an AI agent basically logs into client's website. So first of all, actually that AI extracted data from PDFs, just as I showed you. Then it went into client's website, logged in, and filled out forms with extracted PDF data. And that client paid me $6,000 for that automation. So this is very, very useful. But let's go through it. How do you set it up? How do you make it work? So first of all, there's going to be a run task node. So let's just click on it and see what's inside. And it's going to have a task of what the AI agent needs to do. So for example, the task in this case is very simple. Go to google.com and look up weather in Vilnius. This is the city. Then return back what is the weather today and for the next 2 days. And using the simplest model ever because it's the cheapest. So for example, I can test the workflow and run this automation. And then, for example, if I go into the AI agent interface platform, you can actually see live how it's taking these actions to complete your task. So now it's still loading. So for example, it's logging into google.com. It could be any website. And then soon you will see how it starts typing in the details. So for example, it should probably type in weather in Vilnius because this is what I specified over here. So you can actually monitor this live, or you can just let it run in the background, and probably that's going to be what you will want to do. In most of the cases, you will want this to run in the background. So So right now, as you can see, it's typed in the weather in Vilnius. It went on, found the weather, and it's probably going to return the results for today and for the next 2 days to n8n. So again, this is a very simple example, but with like this setup where there's like only a couple of nodes, you can achieve so much. So let's go back just to monitor what it does. It just should output like another line saying that we've extracted it and it's all good. Or right now it's checking actually the weather. So it's going to do that. Okay, so it said prepare to complete the task by summarizing the weather information. It got the weather and then got the weather for Saturday and Sunday. So again, this is a very simple use case. You probably can do that with the weather API, but imagine if you needed to log in into a website and extract the data, or you needed to log in into a website and fill out forms. That's where the whole magic happens. So how do you set this thing up? Well, for that, actually, let's check if I have. No, I have these windows opened. Actually, go to the browseruse.com. And all you will have to do is go into the cloud. Actually, they have this is an open source. So if you want to run it completely for free on your computer, you can do that, or on a server, you can do that. But I'm using a cloud service because it's way easier to set it up with n8n. So go to the cloud service. This is gonna open up, all of the options. Then go to the billing and API over here. And then go to the API documentation, and over here you will find everything that you need to set this up. You will notice that they have a lot of endpoints, but you actually need to know only 3 of them. So which ones is run task, get task status, and get tasks. That's it. So if we go back to n8n, for example, let's imagine we're setting up this from completely scratch. Where was that documentation? Let's go to the run task, and you will notice that there is actually a curl in here. So again, all you have to do is copy it, go back to n8n, then let's say we're setting up from scratch, go to the HTTP request, import curl, just paste the curl, click on import it, and we have it. We have the method, we have the URL, we have the headers. This is where you would need to replace your API token. We have the whole JSON. And in the JSON, for example, task is where you add your prompt, what you want the AI agent to do on your browser. In the secrets, you would define the username and the password. In the allow domains, if you want an AI agent to restrict only to a certain domains, type in the domains, because sometimes it can actually, for example, if you give it one task and it's not able to complete it, it might try to go through different web pages or go to Google and search, for example, let's say, is LinkedIn down, if it can't connect to LinkedIn. So it's actually that smart. Then it can output structured JSON for you. You can choose the LLM model. So basically there are a lot of things you can set it up, but let's, for example, go step by step how it is set up for me, because it's the simplest version. So for the run task, I basically copied the same curl, but all I left was the task, the model, save browser data false, and use adblock false. That's it. Then whenever the task runs, it actually passes that task ID. So in the next step, what I'm doing is actually I have a method get for the get task status. For this, again, you're going to go to documentation, you're going to go to get task status, you're going to copy this curl and you're going to paste it. But in the URL, you will need to actually replace the task ID in between the task and status, and every time it runs, it's gonna return you if the task is finished, which in this case it was 17th run and it indicated that finished, or it's gonna return that it's running. That's why we have an if node. In the if node, what we're doing is saying is the status is not equal to running. And if it is running, then it goes down this path, then it waits a couple of seconds, then it sets the ID of the task status again, so take it from the run task, and I send it back again to get the task status. And it just keeps checking. Is it finished? No. Is it finished? No. Is it finished? Yes. And whenever it's finished, then we go to the another request, get task. In this particular one, let's go back to the documentation. There is this endpoint. Again, copy the curl, go in here, and import it. And now it's going to set the method, the URL, and at the end of the URL, when there is a task slash, just add the ID from run task. And all this is going to do is fetch the output of the AI agent. And then I have an edit field where I just return the output, and it says the current weather in Vilnius is 51 Fahrenheit with light rain. The forecast for the next 2 days is Saturday, Sunday, and so on. It's super simple by how much it can achieve, like super simple to set up. And yeah, it can do a lot of things. So again, there's going to be a link in the description down below where you can download like this whole, all of these workflows. And also there's going to be my other workflows in that link that you can download. So yeah, it's pretty easy to set up. Also, I have a video where I set this up like step by step, very detail. But now let's go to the last tool. And again, probably I have to say that the last tool is my favorite one. Why is that? Because it's Appify. And probably a lot of people have heard of Appify. Probably a lot of people still haven't heard of Appify. But it blows my mind that sometimes people are using like 10 different tools for scraping 10 different platforms. Because what Appify can do, it can allow you to scrape basically any platform, any website that's on the web with one single node. As you can see, there is one node that you can use to scrape basically anything. And the good thing is that it gives you free credits that we refresh every month, so you can keep testing, keep building your portfolio, or keep working on your client projects. And whenever time comes to launch an actual system on automation, you know, you can tell your client to get the subscription and you can start running this, you know, in production. But it's super easy to set up. I've built a bunch of marketing flows, bunch of marketing automations for scraping data, for getting Trustpilot reviews for clients, so on and so forth. So, you know, it's definitely something you can utilize and build very powerful systems instead of using like regular HTTP requests to scrape data or using, you know, other tools. So how does it work and how do we can set it up? So right now it actually gonna scrape Instagram posts from Alex or Mosey Instagram page, but it can do anything and scrape LinkedIn, YouTube, Apollo leads, Google Maps, crawl websites, whatever. But I just wanted to show how it can scrape Instagram. And I'm going to show you the output, and then we're going to go again, walk through it, how you can set it up step by step, basically. Very easy and super fast. So again, right now, again, scraping might not be fast because it takes resources to go onto the Instagram, you know, bypass all of the stuff and then just scrape the data. So let's give it a moment. And we finished scraping the data. So if I click on the Appify node, I go here, I can see actually what was the caption of the reel, what is the URL of the reel, what is the first comments, how many, how much comments in total we have, the latest comments we have, the dimensions of the video, display URL, video URL. So for example, even if we want to analyze every single video and get what happens in the video, we can actually pass this to AI and let it analyze. So for example, let's just check it. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but basically we just got a reel from Alice or Mosey. We have the likes count, video view count, video play count, timestamp. So basically a bunch of details that we can utilize for anything. Competitor analysis, getting the ideas, maybe copying the content or repurposing it or posting somewhere else. There's a lot of opportunities with this, but how do you set it up? So for this, you will actually need to go to the appify.com. Whenever you sign up, go to the console, and again, this is going to show all of the scrapers that I've used in the past, but for this, you can actually go to the Appify store if you don't have anything, and you will be presented with everything, like any scraper that's on the market. You can use it here. Again, you get free credits. You can test a bunch with free credits. So just by scrolling, you can see how much we have. But in this case, I need an Instagram scraper. So I'm going to go into the actors and I have my Instagram scraper over here. The setup is actually super simple. So whenever you are in a scraper, first thing you need to do is go to the API and endpoints. Over here, you will be presented with all of the endpoints, and you will need run actors synchronously and get dataset items, copy that one, go back to n8n, then for example, drag this here, type in HTTP request, and in the method select post, paste the URL of an endpoint, then go back to Epify, and here you will need to configure or select filters for your scraper. Again, for each scraper, the filters are going to be different, but the process of running the scraper is going to be the same. So for example, in this case, I need to, let's say, define the Instagram URLs I want to scrape. So let's say it's Alex Hormozi website. Then what do you want to scrape from each page? So scrape posts, I mentioned, max results per URL. I want 1 because I didn't want this to run long. Then a new word, then select date from when you want to extract those posts, and so on. And then when you set up all of the filters, just click on the JSON and you're going to be presented with the JSON. So all you have to do is copy this, then go back to n8n, then select send body, body type JSON, using JSON, and paste it. Now you have everything pre-configured, and all you have to do is test step, and it starts scraping the Instagram, and we're gonna get the exact same result. That's how easy it is to set up Apify to scrape anything that is on the web. And there you go. These are the 5 tools that helps you to supercharge your n8n systems, AI automations, basically anything. And if you have these tools, you're pretty much ready to build anything for your clients or for your own business. So if you enjoyed watching this video, hit a like on this video, hit subscribe to my channel. Again, there's a link where you can download all of my workflows from the past as well as this one. And I hope to see you in the next one.